And I think maybe you're wondering, so what does this have to do with your minimalism journey? Well, having put on pause my minimalism gave me the space to examine other areas of my life that I think I had just kind of neglected. In my obsession to just keep churning out minimalism content, I had lost myself. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. So today's minimalism video is going to be my 3-month update of my 1-year minimalism break. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's go. Woo. So a little bit of background info. So you guys know that I'm taking a 1-year break. I started it at the beginning of the year in January is when I announced this. And currently it is March at the time of this filming. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 things that I thought I'd share in this time period. As you guys know that I like to do like these 3-month updates with you guys. I did a similar thing with my makeup journey. I did 3-month interval updates. So I'm going to be doing the same with this. I'm actually going to be showing you guys a little bit of footage of my initial first impressions of like what it was like to embark on my journey, which I have that footage and I'll roll that. When that is finished, we'll come back to my list of 5 things that now that it's been 3 months, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? Okay. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra, and I guess I still kind of make minimalism videos. So today's video is going to be, currently it's only been a week since I made the public announcement, but I feel a lot of thoughts and I've definitely done a lot of reflection, and I kind of want to share that with you guys. I'm definitely going to include more footage for my 3-month update, but I just kind of wanted to briefly share 7 things that I've just been kind of feeling. Mini tips, I'll blow through them real quick because obviously I still need more time for the other footage. So yeah, what I'm feeling in the first month. The first thing I want to talk about is just like, so how do I feel about having lost subs? I recorded the numbers. When I published the video, I was at 1,307, and then I think time of this filming, I'm down to I think like 1,290-ish. It fluctuates, and it's actually not bad. I'm actually gonna be grateful if like that's all that it dropped. I think like maybe 10-ish people leaving out of like I guess like 1,300. It's actually not bad. I'm not gonna lie though, it was kind of the harder aspect of this decision, just because like I feel like I put in so much work in the previous year, so to kind of see me make a decision that unraveled my, you know, progress wasn't the easiest. I don't want to get here on camera and lie that I didn't feel a certain kind of way, felt a little bit upset, felt a little bit abandoned, if that makes any sense. But I think that's just the emotional side of me speaking. I think like the more mature, level-headed, logical side of me was kind of like, that kind of makes sense. My content is mostly minimalism. Why would anybody stay if your content is not about minimalism? So I think on that level, I completely understand. And I think that when I think about myself as a regular consumer, if, you know, say a company or something's not offering a service that I'm interested in, obviously I'm not going to subscribe to it. So in that sense, it kind of like calmed me, and I was like, it's gonna be okay. And I also told myself, I hope this isn't too religious, but I just kind of told myself, I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Do I feel like I'm doing like the right thing? And I also like kind of prayed to God for guidance, and I was like, let me be strong through something that is kind of hard, and that kind of got me through it. The other thing that I want to mention is I feel really happy. I think that if the question is like, so are you happy in your decision? Despite what I just mentioned, if I'm doing this just for like myself and my mental health, I'm really happy with the decision. I definitely feel like I'm learning a lot about myself, which I feel like I wasn't feeling when I kept just trying to push deeper into minimalism. I feel like minimalism is supposed to help you learn about yourself, but I just didn't felt like I was just like skating on ice and going nowhere. So me taking a break from it has been really, really helpful. It's been really nice to experience a lot of normal things, because I don't know, I guess I'm in minimalism. I must have been depriving myself. I bought a towel the other day and I was touching the towel and I was like, oh my god, this towel is so soft. So I guess Fumio was right. Fumio did mention the reason he uses a rag is that so when he does use a normal towel, it feels like such a luxury. There's a lot of basic things that I am kind of bringing back into my life that most people would not consider luxuries, that I'm just like shocked at how luxurious it feels. Like wearing new clothes, I'm just like, who am I? Like this is amazing. Like this is some next level stuff. I can see why people get addicted to shopping. This is nice. Oh, the next thing I want to talk about is being the black sheep. So while I did feel kind of upset that, you know, I'm doing something that's kind of going against my own channel, at the same time, I kind of felt a little bit proud of myself to kind of be a black sheep. The very, very first videos that I made in my minimalism journey, I don't know if people have followed me that long, but maybe you have. I used to refer to myself as the black sheep of minimalism. There's a lot of things that I did that were not typical of minimalists. I was slowly at the time kind of starting to come to terms with the idea that I might be okay with liking luxury, I might be okay with liking makeup, but I was still too scared to say it at the time. And I feel like I'm kind of going through that again. For me to kind of take a pause from minimalism, I just feel like, oh, this is just what I do. I just black sheep it every now and then. And so I just feel like every time I've been authentic to myself, it has paid off. So I feel like doing this will definitely pay off again. And I've just become very comfortable in this black sheep type of life that I've lived as a minimalist. Like, I feel like it's gonna be okay. The other thing that I want to mention is that I'm really grateful for everybody who said they'd be sticking by me, and that means a lot. The other thing was, another reflective point is that I started to kind of wonder, am I even helping anybody? I started to think maybe nobody actually wants or needs my help, and maybe that's the reason I'm losing subscribers. Like, this might actually just be a me problem. Maybe it's just me struggling with minimalism. Maybe actually nobody's struggling with minimalism. That was actually a very humbling experience, because maybe it might have been very arrogant of me to have said something like,
I think I'm here to help people.
I think that Alan Watts said it well. Good intentions is the road paid to hell. And I actually think that this is probably it. I don't have any right to tell people that I'm here to help people when clearly I'm struggling. So I think I want to be the first to apologize for saying that I want to help other people. I really did have the right intention, but I think that I'm going to change my perspective on this. I think I'm going to kind of see it as like, I'm just going to be documenting my journey. If it does help someone else, that'd be nice. If it doesn't, and this is just something that I needed to do for myself, I'm just gonna take it as that. This is just gonna be me documenting my growth, and hopefully this will help, at the very least, help my life, as selfish as that may seem. But I actually think that that's actually the correct way to look at it. I don't want to be imposing my views on anybody else. I don't want to think arrogantly that I'm helping somebody else when maybe nobody really needs my help. Maybe this is really all just about me. So I'm gonna just take it as that. I'm just here trying to better my life, and I hope that at the very least it can entertain somebody else. And the other thing was that the conclusion I came to, so I'm doing this for me. What does that mean? It's kind of strange to think, okay, so if I'm really doing this for me, like, what am I trying to get from this? I think that when I reflected on it, what am I trying to get out of this? This break from minimalism, I like to think that I can grow as a person. I like to think that I can kind of create a life for myself where like I'm content with the decisions that I'm making, and I don't have to put on a show on the internet that like, oh my god, like I'm such a perfect minimalist.
Look at me, I'm so enlightened.
I just feel like as I've grown older and I've become a bit more centered, I'm that interested in putting on a show for others. I'd actually just like to be myself. I'd like to have the luxury to just be authentic, to just be me, whatever that may be. I'm kind of past trying to be a certain kind of thing on the internet, trying to be like this YouTuber, all of these ideas and notions. I'm just letting them go, and I'm just like, nah, why don't we just be ourselves? If that helps somebody else out, that would be amazing. If it doesn't, that's okay. I think for me, my priority is I would just like to be myself, and I hope that that's enough. So I'm gonna kind of include some more tips. I'm gonna include more footage as I go on in my 3-month update, but I just kind of wanted to share that currently. So the first one is, I kind of discovered I prefer lagom. So lagom is this Swedish term that's like not too much, not too little. In my minimalism journey, I have played around a lot with, how little can I live with, or how extreme can I be, how practical can I be. And I think that I'm kind of at a stage, almost 7 going on 8 years of minimalism where I'm like in a place where I'm like, honestly, I think I'm just good with lagom, whatever that lagom is for me. And I know that my lagom is obviously different than from other people practicing minimalism, but I mean to say for myself, from both kind of extremes, either from like my consumerist days to my really extreme practices, I'm just like, I'm pretty happy in the middle. So that's like, I don't need to have a lot of stuff, but at the same time, I don't need to be so stoic. And I'm okay with a bit of clutter, and I guess that's the sweet spot, and I'm okay with that, and I'm happy with that. And I think I'd rather practice lagom than, I guess, more minimalistic ways of being. I'm okay with letting some of those pieces go, which I will talk about in point number 3. Number 2, it's okay to have some maximalist tendencies. I was really hard on myself in these minimalism years. Anytime that I experienced any type of feeling of what I considered maximalist, I was really hard on myself. I was like, you can't want stuff, you can't have desire for material possessions, you need to be spiritual, you need to be enlightened, you need to be this, and I was like super hard on myself. And I think honestly, in some ways, maybe I felt like even my audience expected that of me. This break has definitely revealed a lot about not only myself, but like how people perceive me. If you follow me on Instagram, you guys might know that I have mentioned that since I've come out with, my 1 break of minimalism, a lot of people have felt the need to have to let me know about their opinions of my journey. And it's kind of surprising because in it, I kind of realized that like the high standards I placed on myself, I guess in some ways my audience kind of came to expect of me. A lot of people were like, you know what, like obviously I'm not going to name names, that is not the point of this video, but I guess maybe my audience wasn't really about it, and I totally get it, because honestly, I didn't let myself be about it. I was really hard on myself. I was like, how could you want these things?
How could you want
And that was a really hard realization. So for me to put my foot down and be like, it's okay to have maximalist tendencies. And some of the things that I will give examples that for myself, I considered a maximalist was like, I couldn't watch, YouTube videos. I couldn't watch haul videos. I couldn't watch people's reviews of like material items. I had to only watch like theoretical, philosophical videos on like socialist topics. Like, Sometimes it doesn't have to be that deep. Sometimes I just want to watch a Coach bag tutorial. Like I just want to watch a haul. I just want to watch somebody unbox a couple shirts. Like really, it's not that deep. And so I have come to make peace with my maximalist tendencies. The third thing that I kind of realized in these 3 months so far have been that I feel like I just I don't want any room for guilt anymore. I have touched upon this in some of my other videos. I used to feel so guilty if I did something that wasn't minimalistic, or if I bought something and then I was veering away from the good path of minimalism. I'm not like that anymore. I don't feel guilty whatsoever in something that I feel is very contradictory to my ideal or the ideal standard of minimalism. If I practice something and it's not minimalistic, I don't feel guilty. I'm like, it's fine. And another thing that has helped me a lot is this saying that the thing that you want is on the other side of fear. So there's a lot of things that I feared to do, and so I didn't do them, and I guess I felt guilt if I did them. But now I'm like, no, the thing that I desire, the thing that I seek, the knowledge that will be revealed to me is on the other side of the things that I fear. So I have definitely bought a lot more in recent times, allowed myself to do more things that were not minimalistic, and I have felt a lot better, and it has revealed a lot to me. I feel like I'm okay with letting go of things in minimalism that were not working for me, and I'm just not going to feel guilty about it. And at first it was hard. I definitely felt very guilty in the beginning that I didn't, that I did these things. But as time has gone by, the guilt has kind of worn out, and I'm just like, I'm cool with it. If I do something now, I actually don't feel as guilty as I would have in the past, because in the past, I really truly just didn't give myself permission to do it. But now I'm like, you're allowed to do these things. And since I'm allowed, I don't feel guilty anymore, because I feel like, honestly, as long as I'm not hurting somebody else or I'm not hurting myself, it's okay. And so since we're not hurting, I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not doing something wrong. Okay, number 4, I kind of realized there's more to my life outside of minimalism. I've been doing this YouTube channel for a really long time, I think like 4 years now, and primarily I've mostly just spoken about minimalism. So I kind of, since it felt like sort of like a career, I obviously had to be very deep in the community, and so in some ways it just naturally became that my life was just about minimalism. So in these past 3 months, to like take off the label of being a minimalist, like I've been practicing my life as if I wasn't a minimalist. It's just realizing that there's actually a lot to my life that is not. The center point isn't minimalism, I'm the center point, and minimalism is just a tool. I know that I always do talk about that on my channel, that minimalism at the end of the day is, more so a tool than a lifestyle. And I think that sometimes we preach things, but we lose ourselves in that journey. And I obviously can only speak for myself. And that is something that I noticed with myself, that I felt like minimalism was the most important thing to me. And I think in order to feel some like peace in my life, glad that I'm taking a break from it and putting it aside to kind of realize there's a lot more to my life than minimalism. Okay, and the final thing that I want to talk about is that I've kind of realized that with this 3-month break, it's almost funny. It's like a lot of things happen together, but I realized that the 5th thing is I want to add more privacy into my life about, my thoughts and feelings. I have been very public with my minimalism on this channel, because I really did feel that sharing my personal struggles with others and my journey would be very, I thought it would help. Like I really was coming from a place of love and help, right? Like good intention. And there's a good saying that's the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I was starting to hurt myself in my process of trying to help others and trying to be some sort of role model or something for somebody else, that I lost myself. And for me, something that was really painful that I didn't really want to talk about, but I feel like I'm finally in a place to talk about, when I released that video showing my struggle with decluttering and people feeling a certain kind of way to feel like, they want to share their opinions. And I totally, I get this. Like honestly, I get it. Like on a practical level, it totally makes sense. I made that video public. I exposed myself to the public. I made that decision. I'm not putting the blame on anybody else but myself. But that doesn't mean that I don't realize things with those things. When I showed something vulnerable to others saw that as an opportunity to lecture me, saw that as an opportunity to tell me what to do. The thing is, their intentions are paved with good intentions. Like they were just trying to help me. And it was painful because I felt like I'm being vulnerable and people are like coming for me. It taught me a really valuable lesson that I don't know why, but that for me was a turning point when I realized that like as much as I like to show as much as I can of my life on YouTube with my subscribers, maybe I was naive. Maybe I haven't really been, I'm not a big channel by any means. So I felt like maybe I felt more secure in exposing more of my life than maybe if I was a bigger channel. But because of that incident, I wouldn't say incident, but in this journey of realizing that I can let go of minimalism, I've also kind of realized that I don't really feel that comfortable being that public anymore with certain aspects of my life. Like moving forward, I will still share aspects of my life, but I'm definitely going to curate a lot more, and I think I'm going to be a lot more private about my own personal struggles, unless it's a video where it's like 10 tips to yada yada yada. But I don't feel like being vulnerable like that anymore. It was just very taxing on my mental health, and I just was like, I am drawing a boundary. And I think maybe you're wondering, so what does this have to do with your minimalism journey? Well, having put on pause my minimalism gave me the space to examine other areas of my life that I think I had just kind of neglected. In my obsession to just keep churning out minimalism content, I had lost myself. I had anything that I could do for the sake of my channel, whether it meant, you know, making a fool of myself and crying on the camera, and I felt like it was like a wake-up call, and I was like, I don't need to put myself out there like that for other people. Like I deserve better than that, and I'm not going to treat myself like that anymore. I feel like taking better care of myself. I feel like I don't have to be a minimalist first. I can just be Nat first, and everything else that can be part of it. You're probably wondering, what does this mean moving forward? So moving forward, I'm just gonna keep doing me. Like, it's only 9 more months remaining in this project, so I'll be doing another 3-month update and see if anything new comes up. Maybe I'll shop more, maybe I'll shop less. Maybe you're wondering, have I shopped more or less? It's weird. I thought that I would shop more. I haven't really bought much, to be honest. I honestly feel like I've just gotten so used to living certain aspects of my lifestyle that I just don't really feel the need to change it. So I have, to my surprise, I have not felt the need to really buy much, but the things that I have bought have been very pleasant experiences because I have not been feeling guilty when I bought it. So that's honestly the biggest thing that I honestly can say in these past 3 months. It's just been really nice just not feeling guilt when I buy something. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I don't know what I could ask you to comment down below because obviously this is a very personal journey. It's just me embarking on this. But yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye. It was kind of the harder aspect of excuse me.